Just connecting here to Facebook real quick. Good morning, good morning. All right, I think we're connected here. There we are. So I just wanted to jump on here real quick and kind of check in with everybody and just see how is everybody doing. And really wanted to touch on a subject, you know, for a lot of people that are kind of starting to feel that rut right now. And it's really starting to, you know, play on your emotions and your mood and how you're feeling. And I really wanted to jump on here right now and just be, you know, completely transparent. I'm super blessed. I get to work from home and, you know, still busy, but, you know, when you're used to being around people and you feed off that energy, and mind you, I'm kind of an introvert. And so for me, it was actually quite shocking that I miss people as quickly as I did. I'm craving to be around people. And, you know, this last week or the beginning of the week and the end of last week, I kind of started to feel a little bit of a funk. And I'm very good with habits and rituals and things to kind of keep my energy going and keep me positive and staying focused on things. But it really did start to, you know, I started seeing it slowly creep in different ways. And it's interesting to really kind of step back and look at that. And so I wanted to jump on here because I've spent my entire life in self-development and reading and habits. And, you know, I find myself to be pretty focused. You know, for the most part, those that know me would say I'm a pretty focused person. And I started to feel kind of the shift. And so I want to jump on here because I can only imagine that we're all in this together. We're all feeling the same things. We're all starting to let how much time it's been in the situation that we're in and the conditions that we're in kind of start to creep in our lives. And I think it's important that we need to take a step back and really assess how this is impacting us, assess how we're feeling, and really pay attention to our bodies and our emotions and really get clear on, you know, where we're at currently and making sure that we stay focused on where we want to be. It's so easy for us to be stuck in this position and lose the momentum that we had, you know, prior to the coronavirus. And so it's really important that we reassess continually where we're at, because it's so easy that we start just subconsciously, you know, things are just happening and you're not being conscious in the moment and making sure that you're protecting, you know, yourself and your family and your future. And so I wanted to jump on here and kind of just talk about it. I think it's something that's not being talked about enough. I think that there's a lot of people that are starting to slip into depression and a lot of, you know, relationship issues if you're stuck in the house with your relationship, you know, your partner or even your kids, and kind of how do we navigate this? You know, what are the tools and resources that we can be looking at in order to you know, successfully move through this transition, you know, for as long as we're going to be in this position. And that's going to be different for everyone. And I think that's the first thing, is we can't really compare ourselves to anybody else. Everybody's position, everybody's situation is going to be different. And so, you know, although social media is helping us stay kind of connected to other people, be careful on what you're watching, be careful on who's on your page. If you're seeing a lot of negativity, those are probably people that you should just, you know, not watch right now. Remove them from your feed and don't follow them, because that energy is going to be what you adapt to. And it's really important to pay attention to the information that we're taking in. You know, if you're watching the news, you're going to notice that your energy is being sucked and that you're starting to go into the negative side of things because that's what you're watching. And whether you want to believe that it's going to impact you or not, it is. So maybe limit how much you're taking in. Obviously, we want to stay up to date. You know, I watch, you know, the president and I watch the governor, and in that way I have the information that I need and follow a couple things. But I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news because I don't want that impacting me. I don't want that impacting my family. And it's so easy for it to kind of slowly creep in. So pay attention to your surroundings, your environment. Right now, we need to protect our environment and our habits and our emotions closely, because if we don't, whatever that is that is around us is going to take over. So how do we do that? We start paying attention. What are we watching? What information are we taking in? And what type of environment are we creating for ourselves and for our family and our loved ones? So we really want to find out what works for us. Everybody, like I said, everybody's going to be different. You know, what routines, what habits are going to make you feel good? What is your most important things to focus on today? That's really what I'm trying to, that's my intention right now, is what is the most important thing for me to focus on today? How can I be of value and service to my family or others? And letting everything else go and being okay with it. We're not going to be able to do things that maybe someone else is doing that we think we should be doing. And that's the thing too, is if you start shooting all over yourself, you need to really pay attention to that. Is this really something that is important right now? Is this a priority in my life? Is this something that I need to be focusing on? And if it's not, let it go and be okay with it. Now, this is a very, very important thing that you need to consider though. And I've been talking to a lot of people around this subject. There's a very, very thin line that you're walking when you get to the point where you're letting stuff go and you're not focusing on it and maybe not continuing momentum to move forward. Now, what I mean by that is some of us, our family is our main priority. If you have little ones that are at home, they're going to be your main priority for a good portion of the day. Completely valid that that's going to be where your priority and your attention is. So during that time, of course, that's your priority. Now, where I say that it's a very thin line is where you have work, and right now just not knowing creates so much negative energy and it drains us so quickly that it's easier just to say, it's not my priority right now, I don't have time, and you're going to lose that momentum. So even if you're at home and not working, or your kids are your priority, even if you just take a little bit of time each day to sit in quiet and envision what you want it to look like in a month, so that you're not losing the momentum of where you were taking your career or your job or something that you were just working on personally. It's not even about work, but make sure that you're still envisioning, where do I want to be in a month? And maybe just working on one little thing that can work towards gaining that. And although we do have to shift our priorities and some things we do have to let go, I just want us to caution, because it's so easy for us to get stuck in that, well, I'm not going to get to that right now. It's not a priority because, the world is shut down. So just be very careful. Now, if you don't have the time because you're taking care of your family and it's not the priority, be okay with that. Don't feel bad about it if it truly isn't, but just make sure you ask yourself, am I avoiding, or am I truly shifting where I need to have my attention and focus right now? Because it's so easy for us to just reason. Our mind always wants to be right? So if we're in a position and we're like, I just can't focus on this right now, this is just something I can't deal with right now because of fear, because of uncertainty, it's easier for our mind to reason with that it's not the priority. And it may not be for you, but just make sure you're questioning that, that you have that in there, because it's so easy to have the momentum and you're going and going and you're going, and all of a sudden you hit this wall. It's hard to get back up. And so I just caution you to pay attention to that. Always, at least at the minimum, be envisioning where you want to be, what you want to do, and try to find one thing that you can focus on each day to help build you towards that, even if it's just a very brief moment of time that you're working on it. And then just making sure you take care of yourself right now. I think that's one thing that there's not enough that's being done on. And that's, making sure that you're doing the things to make sure your mind is being taken care of as well as your body. So obviously there's the basics, which is make sure you drink enough water, make sure you're staying on a pretty good sleep schedule, even if you don't have a schedule, so that your body is in the routine of the sleep schedule and you're getting enough sleep. Do some type of positive reading each day that you can. And, even if you got kids running around, put on some, headphones and go to a corner in your closet or wherever you have to just kind of get a little bit of time away, that you're just conditioning your mind to focus on the things that matter and that are positive. Focus on gratitude. Every morning I start my morning off and I do my gratitude. What am I grateful for today? And even if there's days where I'm like, I'm writing it, but I just don't feel it today. Your mind does end up taking that in, and it moves in progression with that. So even just doing the action, even if you don't feel that it is continuing on that momentum, and it's creating and conditioning your mind to focus on those things throughout the day. So you want to focus on gratitude. What are the things that we have to be grateful for? And even in the lowest times, and let me tell you, I've been in very low times. Even in those lowest times, you just got to pick, what's the best thing that I can feel good about right now? What can I focus on right now to feel good? And I think that's the big thing, is when you start feeling that dip. And on the days that I did, there's days where I didn't want to really work. I didn't want to focus on anything. And you just take time to say, okay, what can I do right now that's going to make me feel good? What can I focus on right now that's going to help me feel better? in a positive way, because there's a lot of things we can turn to, you know, and starting to notice the habits. You know, are we doing other bad things that are starting to become a habit, and really paying attention to that, because we don't want that to become the new norm. You know, we're in a different environment, things are going to be different, but the great thing is things have always changed. We're always having to, you know, readapt to whatever it is. It's just going to be a little bit different. So just really kind of figuring out your space and how you're going to connect with it, and what you can focus on that's going to be good. And for me, you know, I was really in that rut. And for me, what I know is that if I'm feeling bad, it's because I'm focusing on me. I'm focusing on how I feel. I'm focusing on what I don't have. And when you get to that place where you're focusing on you, you're going to continue to go down that spiral if you're feeling that way. So you need to focus on others. How can I add value? How can I contribute? You know, what can I do to help other people feel good? So for me, I would send food and drinks to our first responders. You know, I have a ton of clients. I'm a first responders mortgage professional. So I focus a lot on first responders. So I reach out to my nurses and I would send packages of food and drinks to help keep them going, because I'm super grateful for what they're going through right now. And it pulled me right out of my rut, you know, and it is selfishly, I guess it was kind of for me too, because I wanted to feel good, and I know to give is to feel good, but it also was truly me wanting to let them know that they're appreciated and be there for them. So if you're stuck in your rut and you can't get out, even if you're doing the drinking the water and you're having a hard time sleeping and you're not on schedule and you're feeling bad, start doing for others. Start thinking about other people. How can you add value? How can you make them feel good? Even if you just send them a quick text or a video, whatever it is. Also, stay engaged. Stay engaged with your friends. Stay engaged with your family. Do Zoom calls. Do FaceTimes. Whatever you got to do to make sure that you're staying in front of people and you're building those connections. And get outside and walk. You know, even if you go outside and walk for 15, 20 minutes, being outside helps your body and your spirit connect with its natural place, and it comes a place of calm and peace. And teaching your kids that too. You know, I talk about that a lot, is letting them see that, taking them out. My kids still argue whenever I make them go with me on a walk, but you know, when we come back, it's great. Everybody feels good, and they don't even realize that it's changed, you know, how they're feeling in the day. So you just got to make them do it, even if they don't want to, just because it will. They don't know what's best for them right now, but you do. And so just know that there's people here to support you. Drop in the comments, you know, if you're having a hard time, if you need support, if you have questions right now, you know, just drop in the comments and I'll do my best to reach out to you, connect with you, find someone to connect in that realm. Right now, it's really important that we protect our environment, we protect our mind, that we stay focused on what the priorities are, whichever those are, that are our priorities, and not worry about anybody else. Let go of the comparisons. Just be the best person that you can be based on the environment that you're in, and not just focus on yourself, focus on others. And you're going to see that things will start to shift. The momentum will start to build in that direction, and you'll start feeling better, and things will just start happening for you. So I hope this was of help to you. I know for me, like I said, I had to sit back and figure out, okay, how am I going to get out of how I'm feeling right now? I already did the habits of, you know, getting up, working out, reading, and I was still in the rut. And the way that I changed that was by focusing outward. How can I help somebody else today? What can I do to help other people? And then you just start to see more, that you feel more connected, and you start feeling more at peace, and you start feeling like, okay, now I have control. And then at that point is when you need to focus, like, okay, I'm feeling better. What was it that kind of made me feel in that mood? And what can I do to help feel better about it? So a lot of people right now, it's finances, stressed out about money. I mean, and doubly so. Like, there's so many people that are impacted. You are not alone. Everybody is in this. Everybody is impacted by this. What can you do to focus on what you have control over moving forward? If you don't have a financial budget, go down on my page, my Facebook page, and I have all the resources. I did videos, I give you the files. Start getting your finances in order. And although that initial, like, oh, I don't want to know where I am right now, like, I just don't want to face it, I don't need anymore, I promise you, if you face it and then you start building a plan to get out of it, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel empowered, and you're going to feel resilient, and you're going to see that that momentum will continue, and you're going to have a plan. And as soon as we start getting over this curve, which we're close, you're going to see that things will start coming back together a lot quicker and more efficiently moving forward. So I'm keeping my thoughts with you, positive thoughts. Continue to focus on the positive things that you can. Be okay with feeling down. It's normal, but let it go quickly. You know, and Tony Robbins always says the 90-second rule. Feel bad for 90 seconds and let it go. And that way we could focus on really, you know, what can we do in this time to feel better? Because really that's what it is about. How can we feel better? How can we make other people or help other people feel better and be united through this time? Hope you have a great day.